Police have searched a house on the outskirts of Las Vegas in connection with the hip-hop star Tupac Shakur more than 25 years ago.
Tupac Shakur was shot here in Las Vegas. Is weighing in on the renewed homicide investigation.
Lately, tabloids have been buzzing with revelations. The Tupac and Biggie case has been reopened with insider leaks, new witnesses, and evidence emerging, etc. Many devoted fans who genuinely seek the truth turn to gossip websites and eagerly consume every piece of news. But what if the truth isn't hidden in today's rumors, but in the past? What if we told you that a piece of evidence went unnoticed, which not only sheds light on the tragedy of 1996, but also unexpectedly links two names, Suge Knight and Diddy?
They was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight.
You see Diddy, you see Suge Knight, and then a lot of their cohorts down there, but Tupac and Biggie at the top.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. In a world where the past can seldom be left behind, a long-forgotten digital whisper has now roared back into public consciousness. A tweet, once brushed off as inconsequential and long since deleted, from Keenan Loki Jackson, a rapper once affiliated with Death Row Records, has resurfaced on hip-hop forums. It reads, "Seen a lot in the 90s. Some big players made moves in silence while the world watched the noise." This cryptic message has set the internet ablaze with speculation, hinting at a collusion that many had suspected but few dared to vocalize. Many fans consider this tweet to be a confirmation of a lesser-known theory. Could it be that behind the violent and tragic rivalry of the 90s, there lay a silent agreement between Suge Knight and Diddy, an alliance that, for the sake of business ambitions, chose to eliminate two of hip-hop's brightest stars, Tupac and Biggie?
Scariest situation of my life because of the level of power that we had.
It could have gone really bad.
Beneath the well-documented East Coast V's, West Coast feud, was there a subterranean pact between two moguls aiming to monopolize the industry? Believe us, it's much more complicated than it appears at first glance.
People were starting to say it's an East Coast, West Coast rivalry because it was people that's trying to make money. It was true people trying to make careers, it was people trying to get famous.
If one delves deep into the insights and interviews of that time, they might discover bits of evidence suggesting that there might indeed have been a secret pact between Suge Knight and Diddy, one that changed the course of hip-hop history. But before we dissect that particular tweet and other proofs, we must step back and look at the whole situation from a broader perspective.
Pac is a strong dude, yo. I know Duke, you know what I'm saying? He's real strong. So when it was like he got shot, I was just more like, again?
In the 1990s, the hip-hop scene was more than just music. It was a cultural battleground, the East Coast beefs. West Coast rivalry had become a defining narrative, setting the tone for the decade and placing artists squarely on one side or the other. This fierce competition was not just about lyrical prowess or chart rankings. It became emblematic of a deeper regional identity. Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, famously known as Biggie Smalls or the notorious B.I.G., became the figureheads of this rivalry. Tupac, a magnetic force with an undeniable charisma, hailed from the West Coast and eventually signed with Death Row Records, a label co-founded by the enigmatic Suge Knight. On the other side, Biggie's smooth flow and intricate storytelling abilities represented the East Coast, and he was the star talent of Bad Boy Records, led by the entrepreneurial Sean Diddy Combs.
Like when we had got hit with Hit 'Em Up, I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we're not going to respond. Somebody's going to get hurt.
The 90s were rife with tension and incidents that fueled the animosity between the coasts. A particularly notorious event was the 1994 shooting of Tupac at Quad Recording Studios in New York. Tupac later accused Biggie, among others, of having prior knowledge of the attack, intensifying the rivalry. As this enmity grew, so did the financial stakes. By the mid-90s, rap had evolved from an underground movement to a global phenomenon. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about merchandise, endorsements, and establishing dynasties. The value of the rap industry skyrocketed, and with that rise came the increased importance of maintaining relevance and market share. Both Suge and Diddy were shrewd businessmen. They recognized the commercial potential of controversy. Whether orchestrated or organic, the feud kept the spotlight on their labels, ensuring continued sales and media attention. It was often whispered that some of the publicized events were more theater than genuine beef.
I've seen the media portray me like I'm a gangster, which is just not the case.
Yet, with the limelight also came dark rumors. The rap scene was abuzz with stories of artists feeling trapped in their contacts, of personal loyalties being tested, and of the dangerous blurred lines between entertainment and street life. Both Tupac and Biggie had tracks that hinted at their struggles, their fears, and their ambitions. Tupac's Hit 'Em Up was a direct attack on Biggie and Diddy, adding further fuel to the speculation fire. The hip-hop world in the 90s was electrified not just by beats and rhymes, but by a series of tragic events that shook its foundation. This seismic shift began with the demise of Tupac Shakur.
To my homies, Southside's up here. My homies that was at 662, everybody had their guns. We knew it was gonna be something.
On the night of September 7, 1996, after attending a Mike Tyson boxing match in Las Vegas, Tupac was gunned down in a drive by shooting. He battled for life for 6 days, finally succumbing to his injuries on September 13. Less than 6 months later, on March 9, 1997, Biggie was shot in an eerily similar drive by shooting in Los Angeles after the Soul Train Music Awards.
When Tupac was shot and it really resonated that things are really dangerous.
Witnesses of Tupac's shooting described a white Cadillac from which the fatal shots were fired. In contrast, Biggie's tragedy involved a dark Chevrolet Impala. However, details remained hazy, with many witnesses reluctant to come forward, leading to a multitude of narratives, each more conflicting than the last. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police faced immense scrutiny for their handling of Tupac's case, with critics pointing out their slow response to gathering evidence. Biggie's demise, investigated by the Lapped, fared no better in public opinion, with many believing that there was a lack of genuine effort to solve the crime. In both cases, no arrests were made.
Suge looks over, he sees you. Yeah. He looks right at you. Yeah, he looks at me.
In the absence of concrete answers, numerous theories arose. One such theory was that Suge and Diddy orchestrated the assassinations to clear the field. While the two moguls publicly mourned tragedies, skeptics whispered of hidden agendas and power plays. And recently, this theory has found a new lease on life, so we need to take a closer look at the ensuing events.
What's your theory? I know that's completely not true. Biggie didn't have no money conflicts with anybody. My theory, it would be inadequate for me to speculate. I would just be like everybody else.
Word on the street hinted at professional hitmen being hired to carry out the assassinations. There were allegations that insiders from both Death Row and Bad Boy Records provided the necessary intel to locate and target Tupac and Biggie. Post the assassinations, both labels saw a surge in sales, particularly with posthumous releases. Tupac's Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, and Biggie's Life After Death skyrocketed in sales, leading some to speculate that their assassinations were a marketing strategy taken to a macabre extreme. Friends like Jada Pinkett Smith have spoken about Tupac's growing paranoia before his demise. Similarly, Lil Cease, a member of Biggie's junior MAFIA, has alluded to Biggie's discomfort in the West Coast during his last days. Their insights paint a picture of two artists sensing the tightening noose of impending doom. This wasn't the first brush with demise for either rapper. Tupac had been shot in 1994 outside a recording studio in New York. Biggie had received numerous threats, particularly after Tupac's assassination, as many believed he played a part.
Rapper and actor Tupac Shakur is dead at the age of 25, just about a week after sustaining 4 bullet wounds last Saturday night in Las Vegas.
Gangs were deeply embedded in the fabric of 90s hip-hop. Both artists had affiliations, with Tupac connected to the mob Pyro Bloods and Biggie to the Crips, albeit loosely. Informants from these gangs provided a flood of information, often contradictory, muddying the investigative waters further. Claims of police involvement in the assassinations, either as participants or as cover-up agents, only thickened the plot. But the digital age has a peculiar way of resurrecting the past. An old tweet long erased from the timelines but immortalized in a screenshot made its sudden appearance on the forums, setting the hip-hop community abuzz. This seemingly innocuous fragment of the past hinted at a deeper, darker truth, one that could rewrite hip-hop history. The tweet, credited to Keenan Loki Jackson, a one-time affiliate of Death Row Records, reads, "Seen a lot in the 90s. Some big players made moves in silence while the world watched the noise." The implications of these 140 characters are far-reaching, hinting at potential collusion between rap's biggest moguls. The wording, particularly "moves in silence," suggests covert operations, while behind the curtain alludes to a hidden truth. Its timing back in 2015 coincided with a period of nostalgia for 90s hip-hop, but also a time when both Suge and Diddy were facing various personal and professional challenges.
I said, yo, he sure did. He said, yeah. He said, Big got a He said, yo, he said big.
As with anything potentially explosive, the tweet divided the internet. While some saw it as undeniable evidence, others were more skeptical, questioning its authenticity and relevance. Yet, it couldn't be ignored, and soon calls for deeper investigation echoed across forums and social media platforms. Digital experts delved into the origins of the screenshot. While verifying a deleted tweet's authenticity is challenging, metadata from the screenshot suggested that it was indeed captured in 2015, lending some credibility to its origin. Little is actually known about the author of the tweet. It's known that he was associated with Diddy's label, and many on forums claim that the pseudonym belongs to someone from Diddy or Suge's inner circle. If genuine, this tweet would be the most candid revelation in recent times. However, many fans doubt its authenticity, and let's be honest, their skepticism is justified. especially considering that the tweet has been deleted and the identity of the person who took the screenshot remains shrouded in mystery. Why would Lockie, who wouldn't actually be hiding under the pseudonym, hint at such a monumental truth? Was this a genuine cry for justice or a calculated move to thrust himself into the limelight? Or is it an attempt to cast a shadow on Diddy or Suge? Both Diddy and Suge Knight have consistently denied any foul play regarding Tupac and Biggie's assassinations. The emergence of this tweet might force both of them to once again take a defensive stance, reasserting their innocence and condemning the perpetuation of baseless rumors, while tantalizing, the tweet stands on shaky legal ground. Is it admissible evidence or is it speculative hearsay? Legal experts chimed in, mostly leaning towards the latter, but noting that it could potentially open new avenues of investigation. If this theory, bolstered by the tweet, held weight, the consequences would be earth-shattering. It could lead to legal repercussions for those involved, but more than that, it would permanently alter the legacy of 90s hip-hop and its most iconic figures. But what do you think? Could there be truth in this theory, or is it just another chapter in the never-ending book of hip-hop folklore? Do the revelations from a now, deleted tweet years after the tragic events, shine a light on the dark corners of this mystery, or do they only deepen the enigma? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, insights, and theories in the comments below. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us on this wild ride through the fascinating world of celebrity rumors. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates. Until next time, stay curious, stay entertained, and keep those comments coming. Peace out.